Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Fuel and Fumes podcast. We are your two degenerate hosts who bring you everything from racing news and gambling picks, both are which in no particular order. We bring you all the racing series to the table and talk about all the breaking news from Formula One, IndyCar, endurance racing, and any other racing series. McGregor, how are we doing?
McGregor is doing well. How is Spencer?
Yeah, it was like us, take three. This is our third time trying to do this again after last week's beautiful, fantastic episode back with the boys.
Yeah.
Crashed and burned.
It was like a bad plane. It just didn't get off the ground. Not a hot start for us. We were finally back. We had so much to talk about, but unfortunately our audio file sounded like it was recorded underwater.
It did. We were with SpongeBob, Patrick, and all the other boys.
And all the other hooligans down in Bikini Bottom. But yeah, it was not good.
You know what plane we were on? It was this plane. Have you seen this? Have you heard this video? I'm going to wait for the kayak advertising. Have you heard this one? Can you hear me through the headphones?
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Okay. Give this a go. This is an actual newscast, by the way, for everyone. This was the plane we were in last week from San Francisco TV, reporting on the names of the flight crew in the Asian plane that had crashed later that week. So everyone give a listen. And
coroner is still trying to determine the cause of death and whether she was already dead when the truck hit her. We have new information now also on the plane crash. KTVU has just learned the names of the four pilots who were on board the flight. They are Captain Sum Ting Wong, Wee Tu Lo, Ho Lee Fook, and Bang Ding Ao. In the NTSB.
How is that not a deep fake, like an AI thing? Like that actually happened, did it not?
It actually happened. Yeah, that was a report. Now, of course, the names were not correct, as everyone would assume. But yeah, that was a.
You didn't know Captain Holy Fuck like I did.
It was actually Holy Fuck.
Yeah. You didn't know Bang Ding Ao like me. Okay.
Yeah,
he had a family, man.
He did have a family.
Look at you making light of it.
Well, that was our podcast last week, but we are back. We tried our best. We had a banging episode last week too. We were chit chatting, we were yapping about everything that was relevant in the news. We had a great race at the Red Bull Ring last week or the week before when we were recording. And it all got lost to the cloud. As parents love to say, it's just in the cloud.
In the cloud, yeah. It was like a virtual paper shredder had taken to our audio file. And thank you to all the people that reached out and said, where the fuck is the episode this week? I'm really pissed off that there's no episode this week. Or my Mima is really fucking mad this week that there's no Fuel and Fumes. Yeah, we got all three of those exact messages.
Yeah, it's tough. I know. It's like Call Saul when he's doing all the retirement home and the bingo. They don't play bingo. They just play Fuel and Fumes at the retirement home. So sorry, Mima. We're here. We're here to give you a new and brand new episode. Before we head into the rest of the episode, of course, this episode is fueled by C4 Energy. Remember to use code FUMES Fumes for 20% off at checkout.
Sorry, you silly Canadians. This is for the US people only. We're working on it. But yeah, it's a delicious beverage. And I had one this morning when Spencer and I went to the gym. Little episode of Fuel and Fumes in the gym.
Yep, we played wet towels in the sauna together. So
yep.
Joke's on you.
Made Spencer's nose bleed.
Yes, it did. It did indeed bleed from whipping each other with towels in the wet sauna together. But
yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah, we had a good time.
Got intimate.
Truly.
Yeah,
it was good. And we saw a gentleman in there who looks like he was chiseled by a Greek god.
Dude, this guy had like abs on his abs.
Yep.
He was
like built like Geodude. It was crazy.
There was like trenches in his abdominal cavities. It was just crazy.
He's on the older spectrum. He's definitely pushing, mid 60s.
Yeah.
That guy was yoked.
Damn near ancient.
I cannot get that guy out of my head.
It's kind of gay.
I know he's living rent free in my head. It's just I don't know what to do about it. I wish I had that body,
Yeah, he had a good bod.
Yeah,
sick rig. Also, sorry, I'm gonna apologize once if I keep yawning because it's just been a long one.
Yeah, it's been a long one, and we're working through it. This has been a week and a half. It's only Tuesday. Feels like it's Thursday, but
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Sketch. Shout out to the homie.
Yeah, that birthmark was indeed his.
Yeah.
So
He got photo matched.
Yeah, he did get photo matched.
Yep, Luke probably did.
Yeah, he probably did it. Probably did it.
Cut that. Where the? Can't find the fucking note. I'm sorry. I am sleepy.
McGregor is losing it on my end here, but we are working, we are pulling, we are dialing. So we talked about a lot of this, not a lot, but probably about half of this regular news write-up segment last week. We'll quickly recap because a lot happened at the Red Bull Ring, progressing into last week's British Grand Prix. So we do have to give a little bit of a highlight because we can't just head over. We got to glaze it. We got to head over.
Yeah, we can't gloss over it, but we're gonna speed through it. Let's see how fast we can get this news done.
We can do it pretty quick. You want to give the first story?
Yeah, buddy. We're going Cole's notes today. So McLaren team principal Andrea Stella urged the FIA to take action against the Formula One world champion Max Verstappen.
Spank him.
Yeah, give him a pee-pee whack because McLaren's Lando Norris was forced to retire at the Austrian Grand Prix on Sunday as a consequence of Max Verstappen during a controversial and aggressive battle in the final third of the race. This was a crazy move. I'm kind of tired of seeing it now, but there was no way that Max was giving that up. He was going to fight tooth and nail to just take him out, and ended up coming away with many more points than Norris. But he was fighting like it was the last lap of the last race of the season, and it was going to come down to it.
Yeah, he's just being a dog. We had went over last week as well. The Autosports did a fantastic article on this incident, suggesting that Verstappen has proved just again that he hasn't changed nor matured since F1 during this 2021 season, even heading back to seasons before then of him doing immature moves similar to Schumacher. Of course, we always compared this driving styles of Michael Schumacher and Max Verstappen, the dogs of the sport, not caring. For example, when you had Michael Schumacher with Damon Hill, Mika Hakkinen, plenty of drivers that he drove off the track on purpose to just be advantageous to his own running in the championship. It happens time and time again. And Verstappen is basically the new embodied Schumacher of that. Even though he is a fan favorite, they do like to play dirty, whether you Red Bull fans like to admit it or not.
Yeah, he's just got the dog in him. He's a winner, a serial winner. And if he can't win, nobody's going to win by his own hand. And that's okay. I think this adds a lot to the sport. I think that the FIA does need to step in because it is a bit of an egregious move. And since it wasn't dealt with when Hamilton and Verstappen were battling back in 2021, then it's just been swept under the rug since, and nothing really came of it. So, we kind of need some FIA intervention. There's already too many rules, but we might need a few clarifications on some of those things.
We're big hands-off government guys, not to get political, but listen, FIA, stand in here, okay?
Yeah.
We need the big dogs to, calm down, and we just need some political figures to come in and sort that out.
We just need the ref. We need a stripes on the court or the rink, as we like to call him.
Rink shrink.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe we need some refs. We just 2 minutes, high sticking, Max Verstappen.
Put him in the box.
Put him in the box.
Give him a 4-minute double minor.
Yeah.
Put a bunch of zebras in there. Talk about stripes.
Yeah, let's get some zebras. They make a really weird noise, eh?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
What kind of noise?
I'm not going to go ahead and do it.
You can just get one.
We're just going to
Google what a zebra makes.
Zebra
I don't
noises.
even know what category of animal, if I'm trying to compare him, it's kind of like a horse. Like a
no,
not even close.
Not even fucking close.
Oh, okay. Oh, this is someone's POV at the zoo.
Nope.
That's a donkey, or is that
that's a zebra? What the fuck?
Sure, that's not one of us in bed.
Yeah, it could be. That's it. Imagine
Sounds like
one
it's
of
on
these-
reverb.
Yeah.
It sounds like a dog.
See, it's not. It's kind of a hybrid.
It's a hybrid dog.
It's a hybrid. And this is what you get with the Fuel&Fumes podcast.
And speaking of
educational.
hybrids, IndyCar has now moved their cars into hybrid testing.
We're past hybrid testing. We already had the first hybrid race.
Last weekend?
That was this weekend. This
Yeah.
past weekend at Mid Ohio. We had an unbelievable closing, probably third of the race. I'm not sure exactly how many laps it was, but we had Pato and Alex Palou
fighting out the pits,
duking it out, and Palou ended up hitting anti-stall in the pits and gave the win to Pato. A lot of P's here, so if I got it messed up,
no, you're nailing it.
I got it.
You're nailing it.
But
Pato's technical. It is his second win. However, his first win came this year at St. Pete's after Joseph Newgarden got disqualified. And Joseph Newgarden, keep your car on the fucking track, because the past 4 races you have not been able to do that. So I just want to get that off my chest.
He's going to keep his car on track this weekend in Iowa, where I think he's cleaned up
doubleheader,
like probably 7 of the last 10, if I had to guess.
I could not tell you the exact, but I can tell you.
Either.
I can tell you that if we're heading on the ovals, I would love to see what his line is, which I will sneakily pull up now as McGregor continues to talk about the rest of the news stories, because I am curious, because him and on the ovals.
He's a dog, and he's just a fucking winner. That's it. That's all you can call him.
How many ovals did Joseph Newgarden win last year?
All of them.
All of them. Every single one of them he won, which is really incredible. He's just an oval ringer. Simple as that.
Just a big old ringer.
Just a born winner.
But yeah, also other people that are really good. Scott Dixon, he was taken off in the opening lap of the race because of a power unit failure due to the new mid-season introduction of a hybrid system. And so they took his car back to the garage, and they ended up being able to go back out, and they were like 20 laps down. Like, what's the point?
They were 20 laps
20 laps down by the time they got back out.
Yeah, I also think it's kind of crazy for IndyCar. Again, I will continuously complain. I love IndyCar, but I think the way that it's done sometimes is a little crazy in terms of their overall strategy on the course, their marketing. However, with this one, why they would introduce hybrid testing in the middle of a season is beyond me. Either you wait until next season and then you have a full season with the hybrid. To throw it in mid-season is just crazy to me operations-wise. I don't understand why.
You know what it is? Honda threatening to leave. They've been threatening to leave for the last year and a half or 2 years.
Due to hybrid testing?
Due or to lack of? Just there's no point for Honda to be there, because it's just a straight regular 6-cylinder engine, whereas Honda's moving, and all the other manufacturers like Chevy as well, they're all moving to hybrid testing, or like hybrid vehicles. And so this technology filters through and goes into production cars, but there would be no point for them to keep building.
Should have been sooner. Like, I think to implement that mid-season is just crazy to me. Like, all these guys are getting in basically new cars. They are new cars. They're going to have to race in, and not familiar with teams, not familiar with it. And you kind of just got to send it, which is a little crazy to me, but that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah. It's not quite as drastic as changing, the chassis or, changing like the technical regulations. But it is definitely it's going to be a different race, right? Yep. Like, you can now push buttons and go slightly faster, I think. So, everybody's got equal machinery, so who knows what's going to happen? Who knows, but there's going to be a lot of technical hiccups, as we saw with Scott Dixon and others to come, I'm sure.
However, this was everything for the most part regarding the race from last week or this past weekend for IndyCar as well. We went over the race at the Red Bull Ring. Did you want to head into Silverstone, or did you want to pop off some news stories from last week? How do you want to do this one?
I think I'm going to pop off a news story real quick. Danica Patrick gets fired is what an AI fake news wants you to believe. Fans celebrated as reports of Danica Patrick was let go from Sky Sports over some lizard people comments made on a made-up podcast.
Got us.
Absolutely had us hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah.
That's just the game. That's the game we're playing these days. AI is going to get too good.
This is the second time where I've been bamboozled. I had it, 4 months ago, when they had a deepfake of Greta Thunberg saying that she endorsed vegan hand grenades. I've had enough of these. Listen, I'm becoming convinced at these news articles that are breaking these down without any legitimate sources, please stop bamboozling me. I'm done to be bamboozled.
Yeah, I think I'm over it. I mean, it's hilarious, and like, you know, if people are celebrating that hard, what's really being said here? You know, like there's a reaction of people online, and Danica Patrick had to have seen them, right?
Are you saying that
I'm just saying maybe reading a room. Maybe Jensen Button, he can get what he wants. I don't know. Whatever.
I'm just gonna flat out say what McGregor's thumbing around. Yeah, just they want to get rid of Danica Patrick. I think the fans want it.
No. I didn't say that. Wasn't me, man. Wasn't me. You're just making shit up.
Let the fans say it on Twitter. Head on Twitter, see what the fans say about letting Danica Patrick go. Doesn't seem as if she's a fan favorite. It's just unanimous. I think
she's a dog, though. One of the most successful female drivers. The most successful female IndyCar driver.
I think that she can be
NASCAR
posed as the best female driver ever.
Yeah, the GOAT.
The only woman to win I don't know if IndyCar would be, of course, a professional series, but would she be the only woman to ever win a race in a professional level in racing?
Probably not. There's a lot of women that.
No, you got to think about. When I'm saying professional, I'm meaning IndyCar. I'm meaning F1. I'm meaning like MotoGP, Isle of Man TT, any NASCAR series, only being Cup and Xfinity, WEC, Formula E.
What about Formula W? A lot of female winners there, man.
I don't know if I'd count that.
Jamie Chadwick won.
Jamie Chadwick is the new up and coming GOAT.
Yeah, she's gonna be the GOAT. It's got to be hands down, no questions asked.
One podium, one pole, 2 podiums now, 1 pole and 1 win.
Yeah, and they literally kicked her out of W Series
because she was so good
3 times in a row.
When I tell people that, they are gobsmacked.
It's like, hey, yeah, women, woo, and then
I'm like, they kicked they didn't kick her out, but they basically pinched her out so she wouldn't be able to drive because she was so dominant in the series, making everyone else look terrible.
Yeah, and like people weren't going to put money into that if, you know, it's someone's going to win every week and it's going to be Jamie Chadwick. That'd be like trying to go up against Lance Stroll in Formula 3 when he, you know, Papa Stroll hires all these Williams mechanics to come work on his car and everybody else backed out of the competition. Because they're like, we're not competing with this. It's
like Nicholas Latifi doing like 4 stints in F2. He just kept going back. Nicholas Latifi loved Formula 2. He went back and back and back. He was like Michael Jordan in the 1990s, going back to back to back.
That's sick. I can really respect that.
Yeah. To wrap that up, basically, yeah, Danica Patrick. We'll see if she stays on Sky Sports. It's a fake news story. Yeah, she'll stay. It's
gonna happen, but whatever. We just gotta live with it, man.
We just gotta live with it. That's it. That's just where we're at.
That's just it, man. Staying in the same lane of IndyCar, starting in 2025, Arrow McLaren will welcome Mr. Christian Lundgaard to drive the number 7 Velo Arrow McLaren Chevy, kicking out Alexander Rossi, who was fresh off a podium. Not this current week, not in Mid-Ohio, but
the weekend before.
Yeah, the weekend before. Fuck, where was that?
They got the boot. He got the boot ski.
Yeah, he just got sent away. And that's tough, but he will find a place to stay, land on his feet, of course. I'm not sure where that'll be. I'm not sure if that's going to be a RLL seat swap with Christian Lundgaard, or if it seems like there's another entry this week with Catherine Legg, who's piloting the 51 car for Dale Coyne. So that seat has been kind of in limbo. So maybe there's a seat there.
Maybe. I got a seat right here. You hear this thing crack?
Yeah. Sounds like my school chair.
My school chair.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. Huge shout out to Christian Lundgaard. Very many congratulations. Rossi, sorry, man. Tough bounce.
Yeah, Christian, the McLaren team's definitely got a massive lineup of, you know, a new team. Basically, their new team for next year will be Pato, Nolan Siegel, and Christian Lundgaard.
There's a combined age there of 21, 24.
Probably because Nolan's quite young. I think he's 19.
Nolan's like 9. Yeah, he's like.
Yeah, and the Christian Lundgaard, I think, is the same age as us, if not a year
I think he's
older.
The same age.
Maybe he's a 98. So yeah, and then Paddle can't be far off either. So yeah, it's a young team.
That's a young team. That's a youthful team. If they stay together, that could be that could be a dynasty.
It could be a dynasty. You could be
Like-
looking at a dynasty. McLaren is putting together an IndyCar.
Yeah, you could look across the board because they're doing well pretty well everywhere except the strategy department in F1. But we'll get into that later.
Last weekend we saw 2 weekends ago now, we saw that C4 did their first full livery on a race car, decking out the Jesse Love's number 2 Chevy in the Xfinity Series. C4, you crushed this car. The car looked incredible. The car looked amazing in Nashville as well. For him to skate back with a podium is incredible from where he started in the position. He was great. The car looked great. You just loved the whole weekend all around. C4, you did a good job.
Oh, dude, it was mega. I want to get die-cast of it made.
Ooh.
I was talking to Jordan. I was like, hey, maybe you should.
We should get die-cast made of it. I'd keep it in my room.
I'd keep one.
We throw a sticker on it.
Yeah. We got to sponsor a car at some point.
Yeah.
We got to get like the one that I've got for my sim league. It's got.
That's an eyesore though.
No, that thing's fucking beautiful.
It's a NASCAR. It's a NASCAR car.
So is Jesse Love's.
No, but see,
Nah.
his is a nice NASCAR livery. Yours was like.
Mine was beautiful, and I will hear nothing.
Yours
else.
was like when someone decks their stickers out on a laptop, just sporadically.
Essentially my laptop.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's what it looked
just
like.
absolutely covered to the teeth.
There was no unity.
But think about it.
I'm thinking.
Coors Light, Zins,
I'm not saying the sponsors
Hall
are
of Fame
bad.
collection.
I'm not saying the sponsors are bad. You're missing my point here.
I'm getting what you're saying.
All right, go ahead. Continue.
But you can't put together those 4 logos and have it be
You
cohesive.
put me in a room for 2 hours with a
and you're gonna
chalkboard
fucking
with a
stick the
chalkboard and
chalk up your ass.
C4. No, I'm going to create something incredible.
Yeah, right, buddy. You're gonna try and eat the chalk, then scratch the chalkboard.
You come back 15 minutes later, shirt off, just scratching the chalkboard. No, we could put something together with the livery colors.
Yeah,
Do we have any other news? Oh, I do. I got one more. I got one more. You got one as well?
I've got another one.
You lit
It's-
up like a light bulb over there.
It's off the dome here.
Yeah, give it off the dome and I'll get the next one.
My boy, Shane Van Gisbergen, NASCAR Xfinity driver, has won in Chicago again for the NASCAR Xfinity race. He debuted in his NASCAR Cup Series, what was this, 2 years ago, in Chicago. Absolutely torched everybody, just smoked them all, won at his NASCAR debut, and now he's driving in Xfinity, won in Xfinity, and then went to do the Cup Series race the next day and got hit and sent into the wall.
Not his fault.
So 2 wins, 2 out of 3 wins over 2 years is unbelievable for
in
him.
Chicago.
This guy is just a natural. And I was showing our Mexican affiliate his highlights from V8 Supercars, and he was just dialed in. So big shout outs to SVG. Love to have you on the pod because that guy's a fucking racer, man.
Do you think after his wins in Chicago, he's going to get some deep dish pizza?
Yeah.
You think so?
I think so. And the winner of the NASCAR Cup Series race, fucking forget his name.
No, I'm gonna let you cook there.
Yeah.
Let him cook.
I'm gonna find it.
Let him cook.
I'm gonna find
Let
it.
him cook in an easy bake oven. The little tiny pink one. You're always making little pizzas and trinkets in.
Who won?
McGregor's on it. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. Let
Is it
him cook in
Alex
the easy bake.
Bowman, I believe. Yeah, Alex Bowman in the number 48 car. Absolutely brought a win home. I think this was one of his first wins, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty new on the scene. He's got 8 wins and 90 top 10. So he is not new at all. But he went on record saying, I'm going to drink bourbon until my clothes fall off or something.
That's what he said
On live television.
Okay, well, let's put the clip here.
Last one we won, we didn't really get to celebrate. We're going to drink so much damn bourbon tonight. It's going to be a bad deal. I'm probably going to wake up naked on the bathroom floor again, but that's just part of this deal sometimes.
Welcome back.
And then proceeded to show the most outrageous picture of him and all of his buddies in a pool at 6 a.m.
Oh, that's
Just
awesome.
absolutely burning the torch from 2 ends.
That's
Just
dialed,
getting
though.
after it. I love what I'm seeing here. This is perfect.
Yeah, it is perfect. It's full circle. You saying it and dialing it back and letting it happen. That's electric. It's
Like,
simple as that.
Not only that, but like these guys are professional athletes for NASCAR. And they celebrate like they won the world championship.
Yeah.
Like that is fucking sick.
Baller.
And it's for one race. They race every weekend. I love that. And like, who knows how many more he's going to get, right? I think he's a little bit older. So he is maybe on the later stages of his career. But what a fucking win. What a celebration. I think we need to bring celebrations back to racing.
I think you just want to start drinking right now.
I'm fired up. I could.
Gonna have to go to the LCBO and get some bourbon before they go on strike.
No, they don't have fucking LCBOs anymore.
Yeah,
they're locked.
They're locked.
They're locked. I've got a lukewarm Michelob Ultra in my golf bag.
That's awesome.
Take it or leave it.
And our last news story before we head into the Silverstone Grand Prix, we of course had the absolute unit of Yuki Tsunoda also fined 40,000 euros for making offensive comments on the radio. At the Red Bull ring, the Red Bull driver was summoned to the stewards afterwards on the team radio after he used a ableist slur in the pit lane, saying, quote, okay, when I say quote, this is me quoting him exactly. Do not take these as my words. He said, quote, these guys are fucking retarded. While his race engineer looked down and calmly told him that everything was okay. And that got him on blast. And you can see that specific clip on our social media because Yuki stood on business.
Yeah, F1 really tried to get this one buried. Spencer and I saw that and we said, no. The world needs to see this because Yuki, like Max, has not matured in the 3 years. Despite that, Yuki is not also a champion. So maybe we're cutting him a little bit less cloth here.
However,
but he said what he said, and this isn't going to be it might be the last time we see Yuki fly off the handle like this.
Probably not a chance.
Yeah, probably just not these words.
No, just not these words, but he'll continue.
Yeah, he will continue. I wonder, we were talking about this today. The Red Bull seat is heavily up for debate right now with Sergio Perez in a abysmal run of form. Especially after the Silverstone Grand Prix, qualifying 19th after Pierre Gasly had 50 place grid penalties for
5-0.
all the items that he had attached to his car,
all the
upgrades,
trinkets,
if you will. Yes, the doodads and whatnots. So yeah, it's horrible form from Perez. But I wonder, are things like this with Yuki slinging the ableist slurs that he does and flying off on the radio, is this costing him a seat?
Not a chance. Helmut Marko is an absolute dog. You got to think about all the stuff that Helmut Marko says, saying that Sergio Perez is from Southern America, even though he's right beside the United States, just outside of Mexico City. Yeah, just legitimate neighbors. So yeah, he does not care. I think that Red Bull to me, in terms of when I'm trying to think in hockey sense, they remind me of like the New York franchises that really just don't care and kind of do whatever they want. They're these iconic teams that really kind of get away with things. They don't care. They're kind of like, you kind of can't get a whack if you're on a Red Bull team. If you said that on an Alpine team, you'd be in you'd be hurting, right? Like you might even be out of a seat. You could be out of a seat. Maybe that's a stretch, but you could be maybe out of a seat for a weekend. But in Red Bull, they give you the fine, they move on. Red Bull didn't even talk about it. Red Bull didn't even make a public announcement about it.
No, it's because they have a hell of a PR team.
They don't care.
Yeah, I don't know how that all fully comes together, because it's like, it seems like stuff like that would affect his sponsorship.
I think it would, but in terms of team positioning, I just do not think the team
I think
cares.
He's got a lot of protection as
the team wants to win.
Red
It's the
Bull
same
guy.
thing where there's this uproar last week or the week before at the Red Bull Ring when we all discussed that we thought Max Verstappen should have got at least penalized for his move. Nonetheless, he gets absolutely nothing. Christian Horner doubles down, says they support Max. It doesn't matter. No matter what the people say and they're offended about and they're frustrated about, they do not care. And the only people who do something is the FIA, which has chosen to do nothing other than give Yuki Tsunoda a little teeny fine. Max got nothing. We move on. Red Bull is the untouchables.
Yeah, that's a fair assumption. Fair summary, Spence.
Thank
Hell
you.
of a job.
Thank you. Try my best.
Yeah.
And that is all our news stories. I do want to quickly say that it is very possible that Yuki Tsunoda does get Sergio Perez's seat. We were talking about this for a while, discussing this at work today. Sergio, of course, Christian Horner made a public comment, who, of course, is the team principal of the Red Bull team, and suggested that I know that blah, 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 blah. Christian Horner had suggested that if Sergio Perez does not end up doing very well, he needs basically, he said, a hell of a race because he qualified. I think he was 17th, 18th, 19th. I think he was back of the grid because he got bumped out.
For what? Silverstone?
Yeah.
19th. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he beached his car.
Yeah. He needed a hell of a race, Christian said, and then he ended up getting put on inters and had the race ruined. At this point, his seat is up for grabs, in my opinion. He's virtually doing nothing for the Red Bull team, for the constructors, which is bad because McLaren's catching up. They're less than 80 points now. They're catching up. They're running.
They need two hands carrying that amount of work.
Because
McLaren is coming full head of steam. I'm reading that there's a performance clause in Perez's contract that if he is more than 100 points behind Max by Belgium, so
I think that's next race.
I
think that's next race.
Yeah. So if he's more than 100 points behind, then there's the possibility of relieving him of his Red Bull duties.
So one little tidbit I would recommend is you can throw a little burger change on it. Throw like a half a lunch change. Throw a $5 on it. Right now,
that's new.
That's new. What I was going to say is throw a little bit of change on Yuki Tsunoda. He is right now 101 to 1 to win a race this year. Think about it. Ponder on it. It could happen.
Now imagine this. We get a wet race. We get a 1993 German Grand Prix style race where everybody crashes. But Yuki-san is in the back, and he is just plowing through the field.
Yep. It could. I'm just saying,
imagine.
If Yuki gets that, all he needs is to get a seat swap, and it's very possible he could win a race. It's a stretch, but at 101 to 1, I like those odds. I'll take him all day.
I like him. Yeah, it's a calculated win.
Calculated risk.
If you win, you win a lot, but if you lose, you only lose a little bit. So it's a far stretch, though. But
it is a far stretch.
With the silly season atmosphere that is currently over at Formula One, anything can happen. Speaking of silly season, Esteban Ocon is going to Haas. That's what reports are saying. Rumors of insiders and knowers of things. I hate this move with a burning passion.
He sucks.
He's not good. I don't rate him highly at all. And especially with the Ollie Behrman signing, they could have had fresh blood, essentially. I'm all here for fresh blood. I think these guys have shown that they have a little bit of talent that shows up from time to time. But since Ocon's win in Hungary, what has he done? Battled with his teammate is what he's done. And that's not good, in my humble opinion. So, yeah, it's not confirmed yet.
I don't like it. Hulkenberg has been an absolute fashion. He gets 2 P6s back to back.
Yeah, how about that?
One at Red Bull. Yeah, one at Red Bull and one this week at Silverstone. They look fantastic. They look incredible.
Mid-season
form. And I'm actually going to quickly see if I can find the article, which is, I thought I had it up on the doc here. But Hulkenberg had put out a statement suggesting that the car, I'm going to make sure that I actually have the proper quote that he said here.
Check your facts.
Because he said something which kind of surprised me. Here it is. Yeah. Hulkenberg makes the bold claim that Haas was a lethal car and can be a lethal car coming up. Now, I don't think they're competing for wins, but I will not be surprised if they little sneaky Haas podium.
Oh, podium? Are you kidding?
Little sneaky one.
Not with the state of the current midfield,
man,
or the best of the rest battle between, you've got Red Bull, McLaren. They're fighting at the top.
Yeah.
You've got Mercedes. They're also running up on everybody. And then you've got, did I say Mercedes?
You're talking about Ferrari.
Ferrari's kind of lagging behind a little bit. But there is no way that there's going to be a Haas, in my opinion, that
I think at this form right now, I do think it is possible that Haas could sneak out a just ridiculous podium in a sprint.
Okay.
It could happen.
The one alarm bells that this is going off for in my brain is Hungary, because it is a slow track. This is where people show up to do special things. this is where suboptimal cars come to shine.
Mm-hmm. It's possible. The cars are quick.
They're quick, man. They're quick, and the drivers are doing well. The two of them are playing together. They're playing nicely. It's going well.
Hulkenberg looks great.
K-Mag looks all right too.
He looks decent from what he's looked before.
He was playing the team game all early season, and is now finally able to score something. So
it's incredible.
Shout out the boys.
Should we head into Silverstone?
Yeah, let's do it, man. We've kind of already danced around it a little bit with Perez shit qualifying, Gasly being Gasly. No, not being Gasly. He just had a 50-place grid penalty. What else happened? I feel like there's a lot of hype for the British Grand Prix at all times.
It was a very, very exciting qualifying. George Russell ends up being P1, putting a 1:25.819 on the board. Lewis Hamilton is just behind, basically at 200ths of a second. P3 was Lando Norris, and P4 was Max Verstappen. But which surprised me heading into this weekend and after qualifying, the sports book still favored Norris and Verstappen to win the race at 2-1. The Verstappen completely surprised me because it was clear that he had massive damage that it cost him 100 points, 100 points of downforce.
Yes, points of downforce. I'm not sure what that is.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but I know that he had severe damage from Q1, which was leading into the race the next day.
Yeah.
And that was something the sports books just looked right over. Now, again, he did catch up coming P2 just because of poor strategy, but he did not have the pace. The pace was not there. I did not think he was going to win that race. Norris, completely understand. But what really, really surprised me was the sports book having George Russell at plus 450. Makes sense. But Lewis Hamilton at plus 500. Sports books, what are you doing?
Well, we can guess because they are taking into consideration the difference between the two of them, right? So Lewis and George been kind of driving the wheels off Lewis, right?
I wouldn't say driving the wheels off, but he's been better. He's been
better.
He's been better.
He's getting his cheap shots in. And I mean, as people get older, they get slower. Not with Lewis, though. That was special.
If it was any other track, I would completely agree, but it wasn't. It was at a track that we've seen absolute and pure dominance from a racer that we haven't seen in a very, very long time from Lewis.
Never. Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say we've never seen this level of dominance at one track. This is a new record. Lewis has won here 9 times. Everybody else, this includes Schumacher, who's initially tied for with this record, has 8 wins at
French Grand
Prix, right?
Yep, and then Senna at Monaco at 6.
No, and then there's also Schumacher and Hamilton tied at 7 at, I think it was the Canadian Grand Prix for Hamilton and German Grand Prix for Schumacher.
Mm-hmm.
So, little fun facts.
But again, it was Lewis's. This has always been Lewis's best track. He's pulled there 7 times. He's incredibly fast at that circuit, and the car had upgrades. And the weekend said it was going to be wet. There were so many factors that showed that it was bound to be a Mercedes weekend. It should have been a McLaren weekend, but if it wasn't a McLaren, it was going to be a Mercedes, and that's exactly what happened. We had, of course, some terrible, terrible, terrible planning and strategy from the McLaren team, as Zach Brown believes that Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri both could have had potentially won the British Grand Prix, and they just got it wrong as some key decisions were taken away from the wet and dry race.
Yeah, I completely agree. This should have been Oscar's, or it should have been Lando's, if not Oscar. Like the decision making that McLaren is putting on their drivers to make a decision from the seat of a cockpit, pulling 5 Gs through corners, is ridiculous. How are you supposed to? How are you expecting someone to make a clear and concise decision when they don't have all the screens and shit in front of them?
I was very mad. I was very upset. I had Oscar to win the race at 26-1. I was screaming at the TV. I was upset. I thought that Oscar was going to make the move before they pitted their first pit for inters. I thought it was going to happen. I thought he was going to make the move and then be ahead of Lando. Once I saw him didn't make the move, I knew he was going to get absolutely shafted, which he did. Of course, Lando heads into the pits. He gets a single pit. McLaren doesn't double stack. Mercedes does double stack for the correct tires. And it was just a battle up at the front. McLaren looked like it was their race, but they just had the wrong strategy altogether. It was embarrassing. It was poorly put together. They even had a fresh set of medium tires, which nobody else had. And Christian Horner came out at the beginning of the weekend and said, the medium tires are going to have a big play in this race. And guess what? The only team to have some fresh mediums left were the McLaren team. And rather than going for those tires, McLaren decides that they're going to go for used soft tires from qualifying. McLaren, what are you doing?
They are bobbling wins like it's their day job. This is number 2 that they
bobbled.
Should have won.
Yep.
It's tough, but you know what? It's a growing pain. And I think that people are kind of really quick to judge on this stuff because, I mean, it's a cutthroat sport. They need to be figuring it out quickly, but they haven't been at this level of form in
a long time.
Ages. I don't even know. This might be the best they've been. Oh, no, never mind. I was going to say they don't have world champions, but they do. They have quite a few, actually.
They have a few.
And quite a few talented drivers and a very, very good past.
This is probably one of the best seasons since Mika Hakkinen. And just coming into form. Of course, you had Lewis, of course. Yeah, Lewis. But coming into form.
This is stepping in and fighting with the big dogs.
Yep.
It's very fun to watch, I've got to say, especially watching, when Daniel Ricciardo was with McLaren and how much of a dumpster fire that was.
I love this because I never, ever had a team to root for. I've watched Formula One for 3 years now. I've never had a team that I've loved. I've never had a team that I cheered for. I think I'm a McLaren boy.
Whoa.
I think I got to say.
You just come out there?
I think I've come out. Yeah. I like Lando Norris. I love Oscar Piastri. I think he's a great driver. I think the duo as a team is great. I would
strongest driver pairing on the grid.
Yeah, incredible. I love the team. I'm excited to kind of see what happens, and they need to reel together. But there's some strategy, some nooks and crannies that need to be wiped out. But in due time, let them get into form. This is a new dominance that's coming into play. That they could win a world championship next year.
I mean, it's nothing set in stone yet. So. It's very exciting, and congratulations on finding your team there, Spencer.
Thank you.
It's been in you the entire time, but you just had to find it.
Come out.
You've come out.
We've been tiptoeing around, but of course, Lewis Hamilton goes on to win the Silverstone Grand Prix for his 104th victory, which is a continued record for the most F1 wins in history.
Yeah, it is. It's awesome seeing Lewis win again when it's not at the expense of up and coming rising star Max Verstappen, who doesn't have a championship yet. We're kind of getting the reverse now where, Lewis is taking away wins from Max and it feels good. It feels nice. And it's just special because every time he wins, he breaks a new record that he had set himself previously, or, Michael Schumacher or something like that. So we are seeing him further himself in the GOAT debate, solidify himself as the GOAT of Formula One, in my opinion, and that I've watched. So, it's awesome.
Yep. It was actually my first win. I've actually seen Lewis win. I started watching. The first race I watched was 2021 when Max won his last race of the season to win his first world championship. So I've never seen Lewis win.
That's like starting a TV series, like on the season finale. Mm-hmm. And then you had to wait, and then you had to get into the boring stuff and kind of lulls through. But wow, I've seen a few. I think probably 4 or 5 because I think I started watching Mexico 2021 as well.
Yep,
I had seen other races earlier in my life, but
this is what you remember.
That was the start of the main embodiment that is now Formula One in my life.
I do want to ask you. Do you think that this is Lewis's last win with Mercedes before leaving for Ferrari?
Yes.
Agreed.
I don't see anywhere else where they're really going to be on their own as they were in Silverstone. They've had a quick car. They've been on a great run of form. And the upgrades are not going to stop, which I think they're bringing some to Belgium and what's the next race? Is it Belgium? I don't know. They're bringing them to the next 2 races.
Spa's in there. You know what? It's Hungary then Spa.
Hungary then Spa. So, it's going to be interesting to see what they can do. I just think that everything else is going to be a George Russell show as long as he's in the race.
I agree.
I think that George is hitting crazy form right now. He is the man of the team. He is driver numero uno. And will be going forward. So, yeah, I think that Hamilton is going to be kind of the helper here. He's going to be the
hamburger helper,
the Hamilton helper.
Yep.
Yeah. You fully agree?
Yeah, I think that that's our episode of the pod too. There you go, hamburger helper.
Hamburger helper. The
Hamilton hamburger helper.
Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton helper. No, I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Lewis Hamilton's hamburger helper.
Yep. Is that it for Silverstone?
That is it for Silverstone. We are headed to IMSA this week. Me and McGregor, boots on ground, boots on the ground. We are there. If there's any content you guys want to see, driver interviews, chit-chatting, on track, whatever it may be, we are there Saturday and Sunday. Separately, but let us know what you guys are looking for when it comes to some on-track content.
Yeah, we're going to go see our boy Jagger Jones, who just raced in Mid-Ohio, had an all right weekend, but he is now going to pilot the LMP3 car in the VP Challenge Series, which is just a mouthful. But yeah, I'm really excited because this is Spencer's first time to the track. This is my first time seeing really the IMSA or like prototype spec cars, like closed wheel cars. So this is going to be exciting.
I'm excited.
I can't wait, man. I've been looking forward to this for weeks. Yeah, hopefully not too hungover from the concert. And yeah,
that's all I got.
That's all I got, man. Go buy t-shirts from our DMs. I'm going to say it every week until we sell another t-shirt. You guys have all seemingly got yours, but if you haven't, let us know. You can wear a really cool t-shirt with a guy smoking a cigarette on the back of it, and you'd be supporting us, which would be a great help. So please let us know if you need any. We've got many sizes, so just give us a ring in the DMs. And yeah,
that's all I got.
On all socials at Fuel and Fumes.